Desde la línea podcast y su creador, Luis M. Rodríguez, no se hacen responsables por las opiniones, expresiones, comentarios o puntos de vista expresados por los participantes o invitados.
Bienvenidos al podcast Desde la Línea.
Desde la línea podcast te estoy cantando. Desde la línea podcast improvisando. Le doy las gracias todito a todos mis hermanos por estos años que yo a los niños he dedicado. Desde la línea podcast, desde la línea podcast. ¡Mira, wow!
Dímelo, corillo, que es la que hay. Saludos y bienvenidos a Desde la Línea Podcast. Esta semana tenemos con nosotros, oye, y es parte de la selección de Nicaragua y es nada más y nada menos que Erica Cunningham. How are you?
Hola, estoy bien. ¿Y tú?
Todo bien, todo bien. I like to start the interview with the first question, and the first question is, who is Erica?
Um, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I've been playing professional soccer for the past, I would say like 10 years now. I was born in San Francisco, California, and I grew up in Sonoma County, which is an hour north of that. And I've been playing sports like my whole life. I did track, I did basketball when I was younger. So I've always done sports growing up, and I've been privileged to be around that growing up. But yeah, always loved being active, always loved a lot of different things, not just sports, you know. So yeah, I would say I'm a lot of different things, but that's just kind of a basic overview of my sports, beginning of my sport career.
Interesting. You do basketball before. Why you change for soccer?
Basketball was really honestly very difficult, and I just wasn't it wasn't going to happen for me like at a professional level. I would say like my sports was running. I was a really good runner for long distance, and then soccer just always, or football always stuck for me. And yeah, so I just wasn't good enough for basketball, but I loved playing it.
I remember it's a curious question, it answer the last time I talked to volleyball player and she told me she do basketball before do volleyball, and asking her why you change it. They say, I don't like the sport and it that got any contact. He say, okay, it's okay. It's a weird question. It's a weird answer, but it's okay.
Yeah. But I love the sport. Basketball's awesome, and I have a lot of respect for basketball players.
The last, tell me about it. You told me you do basketball before you do football, but what you see maybe in the TV, maybe in your families, maybe in your friends, what you see, for start to playing football.
I think for me, when I was younger, I had a lot of people to look up to. Like I had the US women's national team, and I've kind of spoken about this before a little bit, but it was a little bit different growing up in the US because soccer was very supported at a young age. And we had a lot of opportunities to play competitive soccer when I was growing up. So I think that was really big for me. And yeah, like I was able to see like Mia Hamm, I was able to see like Christine Lilly and like these women that were competing at a high level for soccer, and not only just competing, but they were really successful. Like the US women's national team has been trying to build what they are now since, I don't know, like the past 30 years, maybe even more. So yeah, I mean, I think for me, I started playing football because I saw them and it was like, oh, I want to be like that. And I had the opportunities to play competitively at a young age. And yeah, I loved it. Like I loved like being able to put all my energy and focus into something and be around other people that are doing the same thing. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons why, but that's just a little bit why there. But yeah.
And you told me for the football, the woman football is only supported. That's true. I make every week the mix zone or something like that with the Washington Spirit here in Washington D.C. This year I do it again, but it's really interesting. But I see everybody putting in the media something like that. Who see the women's play basketball, football, something like that, man. I go every week to Washington D.C. and I see one full stadium with 18 or 19,000 people every Sunday. You
I
know
love
what you're talking about?
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so different now. Like the sport has grown so much. And I think now too, uh, women and girls can see that like you can build a career off of it now. Like you can live off of it if you're at a high level. And it wasn't like that before. Like, not to say that there's not a struggle still with the pay and everything, but it's definitely developed so much. And you can even go on social media and see that these athletes have huge followings, they have brands, they have businesses, like, and yeah, it's definitely grown a lot. I'm happy about that because there's more visibility, like to see like, oh, I could be that, or I could do something like that.
Anything, I think so. I need that had to change maybe in the future or maybe in the present for the women sports is that was my opinion. No, maybe it's not the same opinion with Erica or somebody else listen the podcast, but I think so. The first thing need to change it is the people in the top, right? I don't know. For me, if you got the women's sports, supposed to be the people in the top. You need to is woman, no man or something like that. You
Yeah.
need that. You need woman in the top. Why? Simple. You know, the women's in the sport is a different. For the men. Yeah, I'm not talking about for basketball is basketball. No matter who do it, but I talk to the body. For example, the women's I got any different things. Is the women's only it can do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. This is the first I need to change. In the people is in the top for the women's sport, you got to put there in the woman. Or maybe if you got any different people, you have to think you have to need tú tienes que poner una mujer allí. You know
Hmm.
why? But she know what is the different things the woman needed for feeling
Yeah.
comfortable, for feeling
Yeah.
professional, for feeling ready for make a sport.
Yeah, and I think that there are like changes being made for that, and more so of like the recognition of that and like realizing that. I know that Chelsea Football Club for women has done a really good job at that, where they understand like women, we have periods and we have, different bodies than men. So we shouldn't be treated like, like small men or something like that. I know people have said that before, but it's true that, we are our own, like I would say even category, like women's football, and it's a really positive thing. And I don't see that as like a bad thing whatsoever. But they've done work around um trying to work around women's periods and like how our bodies work, and they've done a lot of research in that, because a lot of research for even dieting or medical treatments is done around men. So we don't always get the proper medical treatments or schedules or just kind of like things that were actually help us a lot. So yeah, I think that we're making progress, but we have to keep pushing for women's soccer. And um, there's kind of one more thing I want to say about that, is that when people say, like, sometimes I hear this thing about people don't watch women's sports, so that's why, this kind of controversy, I guess you would call it. And that's not, I don't believe that. Like, I'm not buying that, because anytime women have been given opportunities, like you look at the Spanish national team or Barcelona, like they've sold out the stadium. I went to the Euros in Wembley. It was sold out for women. I was like, when I went to the Euros in England, I saw little kids with like Beth Mead jerseys on, like it was a men's game, and it was a full stadium. So I'm not really buying this whole thing of like people don't want to watch women's sports. That's not really true. I think it's a very small demographic with very loud voices that are saying that. So yeah, it's not my experience that people are like, oh, I don't want to watch that because it's a women's game. I think that's a very small population that make themselves like they're everyone.
I can give it to you the sample, the same with the DC, in DC United is the men play in Washington, and Washington Spirit, the women's sport, the women's soccer team, both team play in the same stadium. Right now tonight, Washington DC United play in Maryland, but why? Pues play with Inter Miami. You need that big stadium not for you, for Messi. It's that true. I'm sorry, DC fans, but it's that true. But normally when the DC play, the stadium is maybe in a half capacity or something like that. Not the same with Washington Spirit. The same stadium with Washington Spirit is full every week.
Yeah.
This is the sample I can give it to you. Every people need to buy the tickets. No, it's not free or something like that. No, not true.
Yeah. And I do believe when the opportunity is there and women in sports get the chance, like we do very well. Like we have people come to the games. Like it's just, for me, I'm not buying the whole thing of, people don't watch women's sports. That's not true.
It's true. So, the next weekend I go to Puerto Rico for make the tournament, women basketball tournament there. The same question asking you right now is the same asking this weekend. Hopefully I can do that for Kelly Clark. The question is, what do you think? What the women's sport needed for maybe if we go to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, obviously investment, I'm not going to act like investment isn't important. I think it's a huge thing. I mean, for anything, like any business, you can't act like money's not important, and it is. So the investment, and I know that there's, I don't want to say her name wrong, but her name is Michelle. I forgot her last name.
I know that she's the owner for Washington Spirit, Michelle.
Yeah, Washington Spirit in London City. And you see like what she's doing, where she's investing her money into women's sports. And this is a very smart woman. This is not just anybody doing that, Mm-hmm. So, and there's been a lot of success with that. I think that we need people like her. We need people that are gonna invest into like the medical for us, the fields, and like for the standards to just be higher so that we can compete at a professional level, just like how men get provided. And I think that we also, there is so many things, I think, but I think a huge one is like the investment, and also not just if we take money away from it, I think also the dialogue about women's sports is really important. I think words are very important. I think if we get this rhetoric of nobody cares, nobody does that, no, people don't want to go to the games, like I don't believe that's a positive impact on women's sports either. And that's not true as well. And I think just the attitude towards female athletes, having that change as well. Like, maybe it feels like, what can I do as a person to help support that and come to games? Follow your favorite athletes online, like support the brands that they have. And you don't have to do these huge things. I think that's a very easy thing. Watch the games, support the games. I think those are just ways to start it. And I do see that like changing little by little, which I'm really happy about.
I cannot finish the interview for us. No puedo terminar la entrevista sin preguntarte algo, y es que pasado básicamente hace varias semanas atrás, you got the opportunity to go to play with the national team. Tell me a little bit for that.
Oh, it's been a highlight of my career so far, for sure, and multiple different reasons. When I first went to the national team, there was a Brazilian coach there, and it was a little bit different. We've had a coach change. And just my journey so far with them has been like so special, because I'm so inspired by my teammates. These are players that like, they don't get the recognition they deserve, to be honest with you. Like, they're so talented. And I've played in different leagues at all different levels. I've played first division, I've played second division, I've played third division in different countries. And I can say like they are people that they're women that haven't gotten opportunities in England or opportunities in Spain, or like because of multiple different reasons. Like, it's hard to get a visa, it's hard to get connections, it's hard to kind of get out of Nicaragua to go play in Europe. So I would say like one of the highlights has been meeting my teammates and seeing their talent and seeing like the potential. And I think that shows like when we played Jamaica recently, like those players in Jamaica, all like a lot of them are also English. So a lot of them can play in England, you know, they have two passports, a Jamaican passport, English passport. So we played against players that are playing WSL, the top league, Premier League in England every weekend. And, you know, girls on my team, some of them have other jobs or they have to they have different like obligations at home, whatever it is. So what I guess I'm trying to say is like it's just been so special to see them and see like their passion for football and like how they have so much confidence. Like they went out on the field and they don't care who they're playing against. They're going to be themselves and they're going to express themselves. And I love that. And I also have gotten to meet like family I've never met before. And that's been very special. My parents came to the game. My grandma's from Nicaragua and she unfortunately passed away when I was younger, but I just feel like this is a whole new world that opened up to me. I'm learning Spanish like really slowly. So that's a language I've always like wanted to learn and it's a different culture. And for me, I feel so blessed to have that. And I look forward to going to the national team. Like I love playing with them. I love the people of Nicaragua. Like it's so special to me. Like words like don't do it enough, you know, justice.
It's very interesting you talk to like that, you know, for your teammate. You know, I'll tell you that true, you know, couple of years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I tried to do uh, forget in English, counter is, I tried to do with scouts with the different players. You know, I got good friends. I know good players in Central America, you know.
Yeah.
When I tried to talk to this guy, like, you know, hey, I got a couple of Central Americans players. That was in basketball. I got this player, I got this player, I got this player. Tell me, what did he play? Playing the national team. Say, no, man. He said, why not? You know, who see the Central America basketball players? You know,
Yeah.
this game is too boring. You know,
Yeah.
they can find people with the next level. Say, man, this girl is amazing. You know, just
Yeah.
we need to give it to her one opportunity, and that's it. No, 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 no. Central America, no. If you can find maybe in South America or Europe or something like that. Central America, no. Who see this basketball? Say, come on, man. I think so. This is the mindset everybody got for Central America. You know, we can see the Central America players. You know, if you are really scout, this is the same. This is esto que te acabo de decir ahora es the same to this guy. Hey, if you are real scout, you scout every player. You can see it, you know, but you
Mhm.
don't know where the next player you got, maybe your next superstar. You need to
Yeah.
see everybody. No, 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 no. For this reason, I quit for the scout. You know, I do it maybe for a month, but I cannot do that. But for me, you know, if everybody need one opportunity or one chance. You know, give it just one chance. If she not do good, I'm sorry, but maybe this player appreciate the opportunity you give it to her or to him. You know,
Yeah.
but just one shot. You know, give it to
Yeah.
her just one shot. If you not get any opportunity, one what you can see, or maybe you not see nothing. You know, this is the
Mhm.
truth. You know, I think so. This is the mindset everybody got for Central America players.
Yeah. And it's true. I've seen it. I've seen the other side of it where maybe you get someone in football, of course, like England is a big football country that gets a lot of recognition, Spain, Germany. But I would say I've seen players that have the labels, you know, and I don't like taking away. I think everyone should get credit where credit is due. But I've seen players that come from these like big clubs or whatever, and then sometimes it's like having a Harvard degree, but then maybe you're not really, it doesn't really translate into the real, you know? So sometimes it can carry some people and that's just how it works, where maybe you can have the label of it, but there's someone who's just as good as you. And it's not sometimes like the most talented players don't always get the opportunities. And that's just how it works, you know, for a lot of things. But like I said, and not taking away anything from any of those players. For me, like there's a lot of talent on my national team that if they had more resources, if they had those competitive games every single weekend, like I know they would fly, they would just, so yeah, it's interesting to witness, but I'm having so much fun playing with the national team. I love it. And I love learning Spanish. Like this is something like a goal of mine off the field, and my teammates are really patient with me because sometimes I don't understand and they need to help me translate. So I appreciate them so much.
Tell me about tu más reciente experiencia, with the Getafe. Tell me a little bit for playing in Spain.
Yeah, so Spain is like, I would say like Spain is just, it's such a football rich country. And I love that everyone here loves football. Like if you go to a playground or you walk around, they're playing football. They're not playing like basketball. They're not doing other sports. It's like all football here. So they have their own like culture around it too. And it's just so fun to be here. And I'm in Madrid, and the level's good. Like the girls on my team, they're very good players. And obviously Hatafi, the men are doing really well right now. So that's kind of cool to see that as well. I hope to go to like one of their games, but I just love the location. I love being in Spain. It's, I can't complain about that.
And the last question is, I like it, before at the end of the podcast, I make open question for my invitados, or my host. Isa, you got any open question for me, or maybe anything you can talk, and maybe I forget asking you about your career or something like that. So let me know what type of question you got for me.
I would say more of like, I guess I just want to kind of get the message out there about like Nicaragua. And I think like for my national team is, I feel like it's kind of a more of a statement, but I do feel like we can play teams like the US eventually. I feel like we can play teams like the big teams. We can get there. And are we there right now? No, but I feel like there's a lot of parts that we can put together and get there. And I just want people to like recognize like the talent in Central America and these players, and know that we can play, and we have, our own part in the sport. So that's just kind of something I wanted to say.
Thank you, Erica, for the opportunity to talk to me a little bit. It's really appreciated. I know, quiero que quede esto grabado right now in Spain. It's close to 1 a.m., something like that, 12 a.m.,
Yeah, no pasa nada.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, for the sacrifice for talk to me.
No
I
worries, thank you.
appreciate it a lot. And hopefully you enjoyed the interview. This is the most important.
Yeah, I really did. Thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oye, quiero darle las gracias por llegar hasta aquí, escuchar el podcast, escuchar este episodio brutal. Oye, recuerda buscarnos en cualquier plataforma de podcast, como es de la línea podcast, y en Instagram como es de la línea podcast. Dale like, dale share, comparte este podcast con todo el mundo. Y si no sabes dónde puedes buscarnos, sencillo, vete a Instagram como es de la línea podcast. Danos a seguir primero que todo, para seguir con la meta de seguir creciendo y llegando a otros públicos. Y ahí hay un link de Linktree que lo llevará a todos los lugares donde estamos disponibles. Búscanos en YouTube como DLP Indazán para que no te pierdas otra parte del podcast que se llama El Extendido con Melo. Son dos podcasts con la misma persona, pero son dos temas completamente diferentes, así que búscala allá en YouTube como DLP Indazán para que escuches El Extendido. Oye, usted escucha esta pista que está de fondo en este outro, es nada más y nada menos que con DJ Salva de España para el mundo. Así que oye, si necesitas una pista para tu intro, para tu outro, también para tu promo, también para tu demo, para lo que sea, escríbele a DJ Salva en Instagram y dile que vas de parte de Melo para que te trate con cariño. Shout out a DJ Salva, el mejor DJ de España. Y usted escucha, y usted ve el logo de Desde la Línea, ¿verdad que está bien bonito? Usted ve los fondos que usamos para los extendidos, también para las noticias, es nada más y nada menos que por AG Artists. Es la que tiene a todo el mundo al día en Puerto Rico. Equipos de baloncesto, le hace las promos a varios equipos del BCN, así que contáctalas en Instagram como AG Artists. Y por último, pero no menos importante, gracias por la oportunidad. Recuerda darle like, darle share, compartir esto con todo el mundo y dejarnos 5 estrellas en Instagram. Que tengan buen día, se me cuidan.